Ki-woo is complaining about the free Wi-Fi not working anymore. He tells his sister, Ki-jung, and their mother, Chung-suk, who is also upset because WhatsApp isn't working either. Chung-suk kicks her husband, Kim Ki-taek, about it. Kim Ki-taek asks Ki-woo to hold the phone high to check the signal strength. After a few moments, Ki-woo finally picks up a signal from a nearby new cafe. Both siblings quickly scroll through their phones, hoping to see if Pizza Generation has contacted them. The family is busy folding pizza boxes when they notice someone spraying something outside. Kim suggests leaving the window open so the spray can kill any bugs inside their home, too. Later, the Pizza Generation girl complains about the boxes being deformed. She rejects one out of the 4 boxes, cutting 10% off their pay because it could hurt the brand image. Chung-suk isn't happy and mocks the girl, saying, "You can't even afford to hire a box folder." Ki-jung, plotting to get her brother the job, complains to the girl about a guy she recently hired, saying he's strange and difficult to work with. She suggests her brother, Kai-woo, would be a better option, then pays for the boxes and leaves. The family is celebrating after finally getting the Wi-Fi to work again. But their celebration is interrupted when Min, Ki-woo's old friend, walks up to their house. He's carrying a large wooden box and insists that his grandfather asked him to bring it to them. Inside the box is a landscape rock that Min says his father collected during his cadet days. He tells them the rock is believed to bring wealth to the family. Ki-woo thanks Min, and they both sit down by the roadside to talk. Min asks Ki-woo if Ki-jung is still taking her classes. Ki-woo explains that she can't afford them. Min then shows Ki-woo a picture of a girl and suggests that Ki-woo should teach her English while Min studies abroad. Min says he doesn't trust anyone else with her, except for Ki-woo. The catch? Ki-woo has to pretend to be a college student. Ki-woo agrees with him. Meanwhile, Ki-jung photoshops Ki-woo's CV to make it look more impressive. When Kim sees it, he comments on how brilliant his daughter is and wishes Ki-woo good luck. Ki-woo rings the bell at the Park family's house and is led inside. He meets the maid, Moon-gwang, who asks him to sit while she goes to call Madame Yeon-kyo. Yeon-kyo isn't interested in Ki-woo's documents, as he came with Min's reference. But she tells him to sit and start the first lesson. In the lesson with Dahai, Kai-woo holds her hand and tells her that if she loses momentum during the exam, she'll be in trouble. Impressed, Yeon-kyo agrees to pay Ki-woo for 3 classes a week, 2 hours each, and even starts calling him Kevin instead of Ki-woo. While they're talking, her youngest son, Da-song, shoots his arrow. Yeon-kyo calls him an eccentric and says he can't even sit properly. Yeon-kyo then shows him a painting that Da-song created, explaining that her son's mind works through art. While walking Ki-woo to the door, Yeon-kyo mentions that she has interviewed many art teachers for her son. Ki-woo then makes up a story about a woman named Jessica, who attended the same art school as his cousin. After studying in the USA, Jessica returned and caught people's attention with her unusual teaching methods. Yeon-kyo is intrigued. The next day, Ki-jung dresses up to impersonate Jessica. Before ringing the doorbell, they rehearse everything together. Dae-hee overhears their conversation. Ki-woo leaves both Yeon and Jessica to talk to take Dahai class upstairs. She tells Ki-woo that she believes Da-song is faking his behavior as part of an artist cosplay. Ki-woo takes it lightly and asks her to describe it in English. Dahai then asks if Jessica is Ki-woo's girlfriend and whether he's really interested in her since she's pretty. Ki-woo denies it. Then, unexpectedly, they kiss. Downstairs, Jessica meets Da-song and tells Yeon-kyo to wait in the living room. Yeon-kyo becomes nervous and asks Moon-gwang, the maid, to take plum juice upstairs to see what's going on. Before they can reach the room, Jessica and Da-song are already downstairs. Jessica asks Yeon-kyo if something happened to her son in 1st grade. Yeon-kyo is shocked, asking how she knows. Jessica shows her a painting and talks about a black box in an unusual shape, saying it's something Da-song has created and that he's calling to open it. Jessica claims it's all part of an art therapy technique, and she's ready to help. Jessica then mentions that this therapy will cost more. Yeon-kyo agrees to the plan. Yeon's husband, Dong-ik, arrives home and tells the driver, Yoon, to drive Jessica home. However, Jessica asks him to drop her off at Hyewa Station instead. Once inside the car, she takes off her panties and leaves them under the seat. Ki-jung, curious, asks her father if he's ever worked as a driver. He replies that he has worked as a valet in the past. Ki-woo asks Ki-jung if they've set the next trap. She mentions how she Googled everything about art therapy and ad-libbed the rest, making Yeon-kyo believe everything she said. Dong-ik finds the panties under the car seat and mentions it to Yeon. She says that he's paid well enough to afford a proper place to sleep with someone, but maybe he likes to do it in the boss's car. Dong-ik, suspicious, asks how there are no hairs or earrings if they really had sex inside the car. He questions how anyone could forget their panties. He whispers to Yeon that it might be drugs involved and tells her not to mention anything to Yoon. Ki-jung, overhearing the conversation, walks into the room. Yeon then asks Jessica if anything happened while Yoon was dropping her home. Jessica replies that nothing happened, but she mentions how Yoon insisted on dropping her off at her home instead of her intended location. Yeon, upset, says that Yoon won't be working for them anymore. Ki-jung then plays her part, suggesting that an old driver might be a better fit for the job. She mentions her father's brother, who has a mild-mannered driver, and that he might be available since her relatives have moved to Chicago. Yeon insists that she meet this new driver. The next day, Kim goes to Dong-ik's office for an interview. Afterward, they take a test drive together. As they drive, Kim talks about his experience on the roads, and Dong-ik is impressed by his skills. Their next target is the maid, Moon-gwang. Da-hai mentions that Moon-gwang is allergic to peaches, and they're forbidden inside the house. Ki-woo takes advantage of this by carefully scraping peach fuzz from the skin and sprinkling it around on her. Later, she ends up in the hospital. Kim visits the same hospital, taking selfies while she's sitting in the back, talking to someone. While Kim goes grocery shopping with Yeon, he shows her the selfie and mentions how Moon-gwang was talking to someone. He confides that he eavesdropped and found out she was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Yeon is shocked by the news. Kim adds, "How can she be working with a child like Da-song if there's something wrong with her health?" Yeon, unable to hear more, asks Kim to stop. Just then, Jessica walks into the living room and sprinkles peach fuzz around as part of the plan. Yeon walks in, sees Moon-gwang coughing badly. They also planted fake blood on a tissue. Yeon tells Kim not to mention anything to her husband, as she plans to quietly dismiss Moon-gwang. Moon-gwang is dismissed from her position. Dong-ik, craving the delicious braised ribs that Moon-gwang used to make, asks Kim to take him to a good restaurant that serves them. While driving, Dong-ik mentions that Yeon-kyo has no talent for housework. He complains that she's bad at cooking and cleaning. Kim, playing along with the plan, hands him a business card for a company that helps VIP members with maids, caregivers, and drivers. Dong-ik is impressed by the premium design of the card and quickly becomes convinced that this could be the solution. Kim asks Dong-ik not to mention his name in front of his wife. The plan works perfectly. Yeon calls the company, and Ki-jung answers, pretending to be the company advisor. Ki-jung tells Yeon that to become a member, she'll need to submit a few documents first. Chung-suk is hired as the new maid for the Park family. Kim walks into the house with Dong-ik, and Da-song runs up to greet his father. He mentions to his mother, Yeon, that Kim smells like Chung-suk, and Jessica smells the same. Later, they discuss to use different soap and fabric softeners for each person, but Ki-jung points out that it's really the semi-basement smell they need to get rid of, and they might have to change the location. The next day, the Park family leaves for a camping trip to celebrate Da-song's birthday. Yeon tells Chung-suk to take care of the dogs while they're gone. With the family away, Everyone at the house is free to enjoy themselves, sleeping wherever they want, eating whatever they like, and having wine together. Ki-woo mentions to Ki-jung that he likes Da-hye and they dream about becoming in-laws with the Park family. They laugh about the idea of hiring actors to pretend to be Ki-woo's parents. Just as they're talking and enjoying the moment, the doorbell rings. It's Moon-gwang, the old maid, who insists on coming in because she says she forgot something in the basement. Chung-suk reluctantly lets Moon-gwang in and waits nervously in the living room while Moon-gwang heads down to the basement to check for her forgotten items. In the basement, Chung-suk sees Moon-gwang pushing a cabinet and asking for help. After some hesitation, Chung-suk finds a hidden door behind. Moon-gwang leads her down further and reveals her husband, Oh-geon, hiding in the basement. She explains that he has been hiding there for 4 years, ever since the previous landlord left, because loan sharks were after him. Moon-gwang tells Chung-suk that she cut off the CCTV wires so the Park family wouldn't know she was there. Chung-suk wants to call the police, but Moon-gwang begs for mercy. She offers money to Chung-suk if she agrees to leave food for her husband. Suddenly, Ki-woo slips while overhearing their conversation and crashes to the ground. Everyone freezes, and Moon-gwang quickly pulls out her phone and starts recording. She threatens to send the video to Madame Yeon, exposing their scam. Upstairs, Moon-gwang is enjoying time with her husband while torturing them. Moon. Suddenly, the phone slips off her hands and everyone is trying to get it. Moon-gwang hits Chung-suk, and Ki-jung quickly throws peaches from the kitchen at her. As Ki-woo is about to delete the video, the phone rings. It's Yeon calling to say they're only 6 minutes away because the camping trip was cancelled due to bad weather. She asks Chung-suk to prepare ramdon for Da-song. Ki-jung quickly starts cleaning the living room, while Chung-suk is in the kitchen preparing ramdon for Da-song. Meanwhile, Ki-woo and Kim are tying up Moon-gwang and her husband, Oh-geon, in the bunker. While securing them, Ki-woo notices Oh-geon hitting the lights as a sign of respect for Mr. Park. The Park family walks in, and Ki-jung quickly hides under a table. Ki-woo hides under Da-hye's bed, trying to stay out of sight. As Yeon sit down to eat, Yeon tells Chung-suk that Da-song has been unwell. She explains that when Da-song was in first grade, he saw a ghost on his birthday. Since then, they've tried to take him out on his birthday. Kim asks Oh-geon how he has managed to live in a bunker built for wartime for the past 4 years. Oh-geon responds that he feels more comfortable underground. Once the Park family is settled, Kim ties up Moon-gwang and her husband, leaving them locked in the basement. Chung-suk tries his family to quietly slip out of the house, but just as they are about to leave, Da-song runs downstairs and heads outside. Everyone quickly hides under the table to avoid being seen. Yeon and her husband, Dong-ik, decide to sleep in the living room. As they settle in, Dong-ik smells something familiar. He tells Yeon that it smells like Mr. Kim, as if he works in a subway, a scent he can't quite describe. They begin to make out and fall asleep, unaware that Kim, Jessica, and Ki-woo are still hiding under the table. Chung-suk quickly texts Ki-woo to sneak out. Just then, Da-song wakes up his parents by talking into a walkie-talkie. Kim is able to crawl out unnoticed, and they finally manage to escape, running through the heavy rainfall towards their home. Ki-jung, feeling restless, asks Kim what the next plan is. Kim tells her to forget about everything for now, as he has his own plan to carry out. As they walk back, they notice the entire house is filled with water, flooding from the basement. Ki-jung lights up a cigarette, trying to calm herself. Meanwhile, in the basement, Oh-geon repeatedly hits the lights, signaling Da-song as her wife, Mon-gwang, is dead. They are now homeless. As they are together, Kim tells Ki-woo that a perfect plan is one that never exists. Ki-woo apologizes for everything that has happened, hugging the same rock and saying it feels like it's clinging to him. Meanwhile, Yeon calls Jessica to come over for Daesong's impromptu birthday party. She says she will add this day to her lessons as well. Da-hye asks if they can invite Kevin, Ki-woo, too. Yeon tells her husband Dong-ik that she'll pay Kim extra for overtime. She then shows Chung-suk how to arrange things for the birthday party. On the drive there, Yeon talks about the clear weather, thankful for yesterday's rain. But when she smells a bad odor coming from Kim, she checks the mirror. Ki-woo asks Da-hye if he fits in with the rich people in their world. She nods and suggests that he stay with her so they can be together. Dong-ik and Kim are dressed as Indians for a parade at the birthday cake celebration. Dong-ik asks Kim to do it as part of his work, saying he's getting paid for it. Ki-jung is about to take food for Moon-gwang and her husband when Yeon walks in and asks Jessica for a favor, to walk with the cake. Ki-woo takes the rock to the basement. Once he reaches them, her husband traps her and beats her several times in the head with the rock until he passes out. He then goes out to the party and stabs Jessica. Panic spreads as everyone realizes what's happened. Daesung faints from the shock. Kim rushes to save his daughter, but both Dong-ik and Yeon are more focused on their son. In the chaos, Kim throws the keys toward Dong-ik, but Oh-gyo falls on them. Dong-ik pulls the keys out and notices the blood on them. Kim watches, deeply disturbed by Dong-ik's indifference to the blood and violence. In a final act of rage, Kim stabs Dong-ik and runs away. Months later, Ki-woo wakes up in a hospital. He and his mother, Chung-suk, are accused of forgery, murder, false claims, and trespassing. Sadly, Ki-jung has died from severe bleeding. As the trail of the case grows colder, Ki-woo goes to the mountains to watch the old house. While there, he notices something strange, the lights flickering. He realizes it's his father, Kim, trying to send him a message. Kim writes a letter explaining how he escaped and hid inside the bunker, how hard it's been to survive in the empty house. But he managed to bury Moon-gwang. After the house was sold, Kim would sneak out each night to get food, risking his life. Ki-woo writes back, explaining his plans to get richer. He says he wants to buy the house so his father can finally come out of hiding. But deep down, Ki-woo knows it's all just a plan, a dream that might never come true.